What the hell's that? No silencer on. Well, nice day, but a bit breezy. I put my double skin gloves on. Spider, who makes them? Is that the name? Spider. Double skin, but they still feels like the bloody wind's cutting through them. Thin insulate, Spider. 70 gram. What does that mean? Well, I just cleaned my bike. Just a quick wash with a brush and what do you mean I missed a bit? A brush and some Aldi wash and wax. Mainly the brakes, and they've freed up nicely. I should do that every day. Hot water and soap. I've been squirting that muck off on, but doesn't seem to do the trick. That sun going right in the camera. Indicator's still working. Good. Haven't pinged out yet. I had a lazy day yesterday, just watching television all day. I like Escape to the Country. And for any foreign viewers watching, it's a programme where a couple are looking to move house out of the city and into the countryside like this. But they always seem to have a massive budget. One I've just been watching today, £500,000. And one yesterday, 1.2 million. And you end up looking at a massive 6-bedroom farmhouse with about 10 acres of land somewhere down south. What are they so fascinated for, looking at camera? That bloke looked terrified then. I suppose I do look like a policeman with my high vis on. Yeah, subjects, talking about television. Have you noticed we're being Christmas time? There's loads of those charity appeals on. And I thought, what? One was a little girl, little Maisie or whatever, has to walk 5 miles a day to get water for her family, and the water's contaminated with parasites, and it's showing a bloody cow pissing in it. And it said Tigray, Ethiopia. I thought, hang on, Ethiopia? Where's all the bloody millions gone over the past 30 odd years since 1984 with that Live Aid, Band Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas? And the concert in 85, and every year they do that comic relief, sport aid, raising millions. So have they not even got a proper water supply? I know they're big countries, but bloody hell, there's countless millions, and it's really sad. I thought, poor little bugger. You know, she's carrying this big plastic, it's like about 10 litres on her back, and struggling because she threw a blanket over it and dropped it. And then another one, little Enoch, another little black lad from an African village, little cutie with giant sandals on. He said, little Enoch's going blind, and yet it could be cured for pennies. Because something gets in their eyes. I don't know if it's a parasite or something. And just a simple water purification system would eliminate these evil little bloody worms that live in the bloody water. I thought, what a world. And when you read about all the money the arseholes are spending on rubbish, because I'm a big Beatles fan, Paul McCartney's website at the moment, get your Christmas jumper with the first line of his Christmas song on, you know, simply having wonderful Christmas time. And they're selling a jumper for about 50 bloody quid. And then there's a homeless, isn't there? It said these cold nights we're having, -2, -5. The first homeless person in London has been found frozen to death in a doorway. And yet, look at the bloody palace that's going to spend 378 million. Is the entire palace worth that much? On re-plumbing, rewiring and installing 500 luxury bathrooms for visitors. 500? They must have got the figures wrong, but I thought, all that money. She could live in St James's Palace just round the corner and convert that to a homeless shelter. I know that's a bit silly, but my God, there shouldn't be any homeless people at all. The wealth in this country, it's just all very depressing. I'm sat there in tears sometimes looking at these poor people. I'd help if I could. I mean, I once took a large bag full of old clothes. They were decent gear as well, a Fred Perry tennis jumper. Because of my fluctuating weight, this were years ago, they just didn't fit anymore. Wrangler jeans, Fred Perry jumper, and I carted them on the train all the way to Liverpool, to Duke Street, which is where the homeless place is. Oh, we don't normally take clothes, are they clean? I said, well, yeah, they're out of my wardrobe, you just don't fit. I thought, if someone's cold on the streets, you could wear that jumper. I said, it's all good stuff, about 10 t-shirts and about 5 sweatshirts, a jumper, 2 or 3 pair of jeans, and there are even some new socks in, because they didn't fit. Well, we'll take them. Oh, bloody hell. But I think they don't really want clothes, do they? I mean, clothes are everywhere in these charity shops for pennies, so they won't really want clothes. I'm a bit of a cock-up. But saying that, I watched a thing yesterday. It was on YouTube. It said they're called panhandlers in America. These people that are stood by the roadside looking scruffy with a cardboard thing, hungry and homeless. Please donate for food. And CNN camera followed this elderly chap, looked like he was about 60-odd-year-old, fat, with awful baggy jeans and a woolly jumper. Very unkempt looking. So just follow this chap, there's been complaints about him. And he went to a brand new pickup truck, what are they, about $50,000 in America, and got in. It was his own truck. And he was just doing this on purpose to make a good living from begging. And even a report in paper said, yeah, there's fake beggars in London all over, making like 2 or 3, 400 quid a day. Tourists are dropping £1 in a collection cup, and when he gets a few in, he tips it into his pocket, so the cup's empty. So how do you differentiate between genuine cases? You know, imagine making £300 a day, have Sunday off, £1,800 a week, cash free. If it's a bad week, £1,000. And there's me on the bloody minimum wage. So like I said, watching the genuine cases in foreign countries, it's very upsetting. Even all this Iraq, Aleppo business. I mean, Tony Blair should be in jail now for war crimes. What was he thinking? If he'd have left Saddam Hussein alone, I know he invaded Kuwait, didn't he, and set fire to the oil wells. But that was the start of all this invading policy. If he left Saddam Hussein in power, and Gaddafi in power of Libya, that's a bloody war-torn shithole as well. We should just keep our noses out. But of course we back up everything that happens, don't we? Well, Blair did, and he's meant to be Labour. But it's like Jeremy Corbyn, everyone thinks if they vote Labour they're supporting the working class, but they're not. Every Labour government's been a shambles since the 1960s when Wilson got in. I mean, the Beatles moaned that Wilson set a super tax for the wealthy. And he said out of £1, 19 shillings and 6pence went on tax, and they got 6pence out of every pound. No, because a pound was 20 shillings, wasn't it? But not done so badly out of it, have they? George Harrison died with an estate worth 200 or 300 million. Ringo's worth 100 million. John Lennon estate between 400 and 500 million, they reckon. And Paul McCartney 800 million plus. And there's his website selling Christmas jumpers for 50 quid. You know what you can do with them? Stick them up in your friggin' ass. Oops, in third gear then, again. So that's my rant today. Poor people around the world suffering, freezing. And yet there's enough wealth in the world, there's enough wealth in London. I mean, an advert was just on when I was watching Escape to the Country, had Ewan McGregor. You know, the Star Wars actor and other things. And the biker. Where's your number plate, Albert? So here we are in Syria, and the winter's coming, and these kids have had their houses bombed and they're freezing to death. I thought, well, he's worth about 10 million from all these Star Wars films. So do they not dip in their bloody pockets and say, here kids, while I'm here, here's 5 million quid, I've got another 5 million in the bank. And even Bob Geldof, like I said about that little girl in Ethiopia. Geldof's got a personal fortune of 25-30 million, it said in the paper. I thought, what? Where's that come from? Not royalties from bloody Boomtown Rats replays on the radio. 25 million, and yet there's little girls dying of parasitic water intake. What a bloody world. It's always been the same though, hasn't it? Enough wealth in the world there has been for centuries to feed everyone, and everyone could even have a lovely house to live in. With a bit of land and grow vegetables or raise cattle. But they don't, they just have a miserable life and starve to death. That's why I understand all these immigrants. I mean, if you had a miserable life in some fly-blown shithole, wouldn't you want to get out and come to England? When you hear about what we actually do. Like that chap from Cameroon, there was a big fuss about him in the papers. He came from Cameroon with 8 children, and he's been set up in a rent-free big house in London with 4 bedrooms. And he complained it wasn't enough, he wants a 6-bedroom house. So this London council are looking for a 6-bedroom house for him. But when they asked him about work, he said, oh, I want to work for NHS as a psychiatrist or a psychiatric nurse. Oh, we'll put you on a course, and the NHS have forked out £27,000 for a 3-year course, £9 grand a year. You know, for him to become a psychiatric nurse, and of course all the right-wing papers are playing hell, understandably. When there's people freezing to death in shop doorways. I don't know. I said before in another vlog that if they're decent people, I don't mind them coming here, because there's, like I said, if there's some poor chap living in some bloody war-torn shithole being bombed and risking being blown up, or even catching nasty diseases, why not? If they're decent people, let them live here. And we could deport some of our assholes, all the bloody criminals, empty the bloody jails, deport all them. Maybe we should battery pinged out. Very sorry, I should have checked. Look at date on that. 1735, Red Lion. Bloody battery.